Let's take a look at our starting lineup.
Oh, nothing out of the ordinary for the Raptors. Ray Feralston, Mo Peterson. Ray Feralston struggling from behind the arc. He's got to get that three-point shot down, although his shot selection has been better as of late.
All right, and you have Rose, Araujo, and Bosch. Hoffa struggled the other night against Atlanta after playing well against Orlando.
That's right. Raptors have to find consistency at that center position, and it's time now for Hoffa to step up and bring it to the table.
And, of course, Allen Iverson leading the NBA in scoring 30 a game.
Oh, he's going to get his shots, believe me. Kyle Korver has been playing well alongside, however, shooting 39% from three.
Iguodala, Dallenberg, and Weber. I like this front line.
Very athletic, although Chris Webber trying to find himself in this lineup, Chuck, only shooting 36% since he's gotten to Philadelphia.
And the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, Jimmy O'Brien, who's taken some heat this season in Philadelphia.
Well, obviously, any coach in Philadelphia is going to take some heat. Any player in Philadelphia will take heat. But Jim Bryan is a tremendous coach, and a lot of changes with this team. As Sam Mitchell knows all about that. A lot of changes with his squad over a long NBA season.
So again, the Raptors and Philadelphia and Allen Iverson, #1 in the league in field goals attempted, 3rd in the league in field goals not only attempted but also free throws attempted, our IBM winning strategies.
Well, make Allen Iverson take jumpers. 41% from the field, only 30% from three. Once he gets into the lane, you have big problems as he gets to the line as well as anyone in this league. Defensive effort Friday. Raptors allowed 50% shooting and put up 116 points on the board. Atlanta did. You can't win games that way. And a board presence in 2 games against Philadelphia. Raptors out-rebounded by 23.
Well, a potent 1-2 punch with Iverson and Weber. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out during the playoff stretch with 20 games remaining, then, of course, training camp next year, and then a full regular season. In a highly controversial trade from Sacramento standpoint, giving up a franchise player in Chris Weber for depth on the front line. Iverson averaging 30 a game against the Raptors throughout his career in the first 2 games of this series. Weber comes up shooting and scoring. Weber has played the Raptors twice this year with the Kings, averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Well, remember, at Sacramento, the ball always went through Chris Weber, and everybody got touches in Sacramento. It's very different in Philadelphia. Allen Iverson controls the basketball. It goes through him, and it doesn't come to everybody else on a regular basis. And Chris Weber is a guy that puts up major stats throughout ball games. Doesn't necessarily mean he makes a big impact in those games, but he is a stat guy, and he's having a hard time getting stats with Philadelphia.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that storyline throughout our broadcast tonight right here on TSN about Weber and Iverson and how the two will mesh. As Bosch going to the free throw line in the past 5 games, shooting 83%. There's C. Webb wearing jersey number 4. And there is Iverson, as Weber came up with that jersey in a deal with Andre Iguodala, the rookie, who said, you know, that's been my number since I was a kid. And Iguodala said, fine, go ahead and take it because I was a big fan of yours growing up as a kid. So he took jersey number 9, where he was picked in the first round. And Weber gave him a nice gift, let's say, for switching uniforms.
Hey, if you're making over $100 million, it better be a nice gift.
Here's Iverson, and they go into the post to Dallenberg. Dallenberg turning, shooting over Hoffa. Rimmed out, rebound Bosch.
Yeah, not a good shot. Good defense by Hoffa. You want Dallenberg away from the bucket.
Peterson working against Korver. Mo played only 3 minutes in the 4th quarter the other night and did not see action whatsoever in the overtime period.
Yeah, Mo seemed to get distracted by a lot of different things, and I think defensive. Mo doesn't give the defensive effort Sam expects. He will get set from the bench.
Off the mark is Jalen Rose. Here is Korver. And you can't leave Korver open behind the arc. He is a threat from 3-point range. And Iverson is bumped on the baseline on an excuse-me touch by Hoffa.
Well, Hoffa doesn't like the call, but he better get used to it because Allen Iverson makes sure that call happens about 7-8 times a game. He will initiate the contact right in here, and he's the little guy. He's going to bounce off Hoffa, and if you're not there waiting for him, you will get the foul against you every single time.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he's going to get that call tonight, it's going to be a long night at the office for the Raptors. Dallenberg is going to be a very rich man at the end of this season. He is a restricted free agent, and a lot of teams are coming after him, and Philadelphia wants to match.
You talk about a guy that's very, very athletic in the middle. Still gets pushed around a little bit, but he can get up and down the floor and be a good garbage player around the basket.
Missed shot off the hands of Gallenberg out of bounds. The thing I like about Gallenberg, Leo, is the fact that he is a tenacious player. He gets after. He is very intense.
He is. He plays hard all the time. Sometimes that leads to fouls for him. But if you look at his career, he's getting better every year. And that's how you gauge the big fella in terms of whether you're going to want to try to take a chance on him or not.
That's right. And here's Hoffa. His back iron. Rebound Gallenberg. It's a 4-2 ball game, Philadelphia. Iverson driving on the first line and a dunk by C-Webb.
You really got to find a way to keep Iverson in front of you. Get off him. If you're going to give up anything, it's going to be the jump shot, because once he starts penetrating, he's either getting to the line, he's finding a teammate, or he's going all the way.
Bosh on the reverse, and he is fouled. And again, Chris Bosh attacking the iron. And Gallenberg with 2 push fouls, as Leo mentioned, a propensity maybe to get in foul trouble because he is a very aggressive defender, and that's going to bring Mark Jackson into the ballgame.
Well, he's a shot blocker. He wants to block every shot. Here, just up 2 straight. And Chris Bosh, Chuck, he's got an advantage, whether it's Chris Webber, who's basically playing on one leg, or Gallenberg, who has a tendency to lift up and isn't quite as quick laterally. Chris Bosh can attack both of these guys.
As Jackson checking in, the veteran from Temple, and Gallenberg leaves at the 9:46 mark, first quarter.
Now, if it's Mark Jackson that's going to be guarding Chris Bosh, similar situation. Bosh has the quickness, and you want to try to get the more physical Jackson in foul trouble. Chuck, I was a little disappointed in Friday's game against Atlanta for reasons a little bit less obvious. Chris Bosh, in my opinion, didn't demand the basketball in a game where he could have dominated. He was very comfortable not getting the ball, and he is too good a player for the Raptors to put himself in that situation.
Well, again, he looked fatigued as Webber fills it up from 15 feet in an 8-3 ball game, Sixers.
Chuck, if you can talk fatigue all you want, then don't talk playoffs, because every team at this stage of the season is tired.
You have a little bit more bounce in your step when you're hitting Jalen with a turnaround rimmy. No, kept alive by Bosh. Great hustle by CB4, and he stepped out of bounds on the end line.
Yeah, and this is where Chris can impact the game a great deal on the offensive glass.
Yep.
Keep going after it. If you're not getting the ball, if you demand the ball and don't get it, that's how you get it regardless.
And Tim Mitchell talked about that in his pregame meeting with the media, saying Chris has room to grow in that area.
Yes, he does. Talking about a player that's growing, Iguodala. He is getting better all the time. I love his game. Aggressive. And when he gets that jump shot going, Chuck, he is a tough customer to deal with. Drafted
right behind Hoffa in the first round. Raptors looking for their first field goal in 6 attempts, and there it goes.
You see that little fake. Chris Webber is hobbling, Chuck. He does not even run normally on the floor. Any type of fake gets him completely off balance and gives you the advantage.
Iverson fires a pass out of bounds. Well, Webber says his knee is fine. And when he went through the trade with Sacramento, they would have rescinded that deal had he failed his physical.
Chuck, you can look at him. He does not run properly. He favors that leg. There's a lot of times he's coming down on one leg, and players don't normally do that. It's pretty obvious what the problem is.
Raptors caught a break. Hoffa was on the back of Korver. And you're right, C-Webb, he's going to rehab again in the offseason in California. And he's a very underrated passer.
That's the part of his game that I enjoy the most. Chris Webber sees the floor as well as any big man.
2 straight games of 5 assists. And we're going to have a foul. Wait for Alston.
The only thing with Chris Webber's game, Chuck, and even when he was healthy, that disturbed me, he was very comfortable playing top of the key to top of the key.
Yes.
He doesn't run and exert himself as much as he could because it's an easy game for him. He can get a triple-double and really hardly break a sweat. Not a lot of players can say that, but he won't impact the game. And we've seen that against the Raptors in his Sacramento days.
Webber, nice pass. Iguodala with a reverse dunk.
If Webber has the ball in his hands, do not lose track of your man.
You cannot have your back to the ball with C-Webb on the block. Chris Webber and the Sixers leading the Raptors here first quarter on TSN. Norma and our Gatorade Game X Factor, and Leo today took Matt Bonner, who's been on fire for the Red Rocket, and my Philadelphia selection for the Gatorade Game X Factor, Andre Iguodala.
Well, Chuck, I really haven't gone out on a limb here. I've taken Matt Bonner every single game. He's done an unbelievable job. You're talking about a guy shooting 75% from the field. And every time he comes in the game, he makes an impact. And your guy, Iguodala, has really offered as big an impact for Philadelphia.
Yep. I love that kid. And I also respect what Matt Bonner has done, obviously, for the Raptors. Talked to him prior to the game, and I said, Matt, are you in a zone or what? He goes, hey, I'm just doing my job.
You're right. It's amazing how many teams haven't recognized that he's doing his job. Atlanta left him alone one shot after another. How many can a guy bury before you say, I better play him?
I think you're going to see Philadelphia play him tight on the wing, Leo. They know all about Matt Bonner. Asking for three. And that snaps as we ring it up from downtown Westbrook, Nova Scotia. And that goes out to David Dickinson. He had missed 10 straight three balls before Alston found it home.
Well, and that's the way to make it get out of it, Chuck. Nice job there. Tough move inside, Weber.
Leo, do you know that Philadelphia, of their 14 points, 10 came in the paint? How many did Atlanta have the other night? 54?
And, you know, when you look at different teams, here's just a tough move. Weber just getting the opening. Raptors very lax putting the clamps on Weber around the paint. But Philadelphia is 25th in the NBA in field goal percentage. They struggle from the perimeter. You have to keep them on the outside.
Gorgeous reverse by Bosch.
Love his quickness, Chuck. Great first step.
Here's Weber again. Way too easy. My goodness.
And even the crowd is starting to respond in a real negative manner to the easy baskets. They're tired of seeing it as much as Sam Mitchell.
Latham with a little street ball on the baseline. Here's Iverson again. Nope, tip good.
Well, right now, the Raptors are just not committed to defending. Even talking to some of the Philadelphia coaches prior to game time, they're saying it's very obvious that players in the Raptors just don't want to defend.
Why not?
That's a great question. If you want to talk playoffs, you better talk defense. They go hand in hand. But right now, I think what we're seeing is just talk. And you got to, eventually that talk has to stop, and you have to play.
And Hopper with a careless foul in backcourt. That's going to be his second, bringing Daniel Marshall into the ball game.
Chuck, the hard part to accept is the Raptors have put points on the board so easily. They seem to be able to score on any team, whether it's the San Antonio Spurs or the Atlanta Hawks. They can put points on the board, and that's what's been so frustrating for Sam Mitchell. A lot of teams can't score as easily as the Raptors do, but that lack of commitment to defense, it's not even making some mistakes. It's just a flat-out lack of commitment to do.
All right, can you have your cake and eat it too? In other words, can you be a high-scoring offensive team, Anderson no for three, and be a solid defensive unit?
I think you can. Doesn't mean you're going to be like Detroit, holding teams to, below 90 points a game. You're not going to be that type of defensive team, but you certainly can make it a lot more difficult than the Raptors are doing.
Kroger spots up for three. And here come the Raptors down by 6 with 5:40 to go. First quarter on TSN. Peterson slides on the baseline. Double on the ball. Blocked by Korver. And it's loose. And it's Allen Iverson. Iverson with a pull-up from 8.
He's so good at that. Rafer Alston needs to check out some of these type of shots from Allen Iverson. Getting into the lane, that pull-up jump shot, anything around traffic, he just pulls up. And it's so impressive to watch. When you have that kind of quickness, you can get that shot anytime you want.
Jerry with a mid-range jumper. Here come the Sixers. They've outscored the Raptors 16-2 in the paint. Iverson threads the needle. And here in the first quarter, the Sixers have a 10-point advantage, shooting 73%.
Chuck, the big thing you hear in the NBA is contest shots. You contest shots, you drop percentages. Right now, uncontested shots, one after the other for Philadelphia.
As Jackson contested that shot, right in the grill of CB4, and Bosch gets it to go.
See, that's a tough shot. See, Chris Bosch fades, he's got a hand in his face, he makes it, but if one team is getting the open look and easy look and the other team's taking turnarounds with a hand in their face, eventually you know who's going to win the game.
Korver again from the pocket of three. No. I mean, only 2 Raptors have scored. Bosch and Alston have combined for 14. Here's Daniel left unattended. You can bucket.
Nice job by Mo Peterson to get that ball up before it quickly attack the paint, pull the D, find the open man.
And we're going to have a timeout. So and Leo Rutten's favorite show, folks, on CTV tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Medium.
Chuck, you know what I see right now?
What do you see? What
see
is
a
your
vision of a lack of defense equals a loss. So the Raptors need to change that.
Well, I certainly hope so. Again, a major deal on the part of not only Philadelphia, but also Sacramento, changing the dynamics of both teams. Why was this deal made, Leo?
Well, I think that the Sacramento Kings obviously wanted to get more athletic. They wanted to have more consistency, and they really got a lot bigger. You're talking about getting Skinner, Williamson, and Kenny Thomas, three players that I think are all solid players that I'd love to have on my team. And when you look at what the Sixers got, basically, Chris Webber was the key. Rodney Rogers can be an asset coming off the bench, but Chris Webber was the foundation of that deal. And right now, I certainly have to say Sacramento keeps the better end of the deal.
And after a miss by Webber, the putback. Webber, of course, has 3 years remaining.
Right, at a lot of money.
Deal at close to $70 million.
And, you know, the other thing, you're talking to Philadelphia coaches saying, well, you know what, we weren't playing that good. We weren't that good before the trade, so what do we have to lose? So even though they gave up some bodies, they felt comfortable in taking a chance.
Marshall again, open. His second triple. I'll tell you what, if you're Jimmy O'Brien, you better find somebody who can guard him, or at least put a hand up there.
Well, defense has been a real problem for Philadelphia this season, as it has been for the Raptors. If Toronto is patient, if they move the ball around, they will get all the good looks they want. Plus, there's no presence around the basket for Philadelphia. They're one of the lowest teams in the NBA in terms of block shots.
That's right. They're 28th in the league in that department. Iverson curling in and scores. Allen Iverson in the ball game with 6. Webber has been the go-to guy here in the first quarter with the Sixers in front by 6. Philadelphia on defense, where they're giving up 99 a game. Marshall again. Get out the umbrella, Leo. It's Ready Trays, courtesy of that man, Donyell Marshall. That's his 3rd.
Well, and you talk about what Webber's doing on offense right now. If the Raptors put him in pick-and-roll situations like that, he can't move as well. Donyell Marshall can have a heyday.
Jackson blocked by Marshall out of bounds. Mark Jackson just ate some Spalding.
Donyell Marshall with those long arms. Jackson does not get off the floor very well. He's a physical guy. He leans into it, but he doesn't have a lot of lift. And Donyell Marshall easily getting that block.
Iguodala inbounding now. Off the hands of Iverson, who slides to the floor to keep it alive. And then it's Mark Jackson who cannot finish. Raptors making a run here. First quarter with 2:13 remaining. Austin giving it up. Rose off the mark. James up for 4. Now Philly turns it over. Here's Marshall again to step back. Are you kidding me? Donyell Marshall 4 for 4 behind the arc. He's got 12.
I'm glad Ray Alston went back to Marshall. When he came down in transition, he went to Rose instead of the guy who's got the hot hand. Fortunately, the Raptors got the ball back, and they had a second chance to go to Marshall.
This crowd on their feet.
Oh, that Jimmy O'Brien is going through a lot of what Sam Mitchell is going through. Defining that commitment, that consistency at the defensive end of the floor. And right now, it's not happening for his team. They can put numbers up like Toronto, but they're not getting the job done at the defensive end the way he would envision his team to play.
Sixers ball. They led at one stage by 10. Here is Webber giving it up. Iverson from the elbow, off the mark. Raptors have never led. They've got an opportunity to do that. Peterson for 3. And Aaron McKee in the ball game now. McKee's playing with a fractured right pinky. And Peterson hit the floor. Iverson got smacked.
I like this matchup. Mo Peterson does a real good job working with his feet. He played with his feet. He moved laterally. Iverson pushed off. Good job by Mo Peterson. Right there, you get the push off, and Iverson actually got kicked in the face as Peterson fell down. And that's what he's complaining to the official about, but that was after the call was already made.
Yep, let's see. Everything's still there. To make sure, and there's Peterson making sure that Iverson's all right. Let's see, Bonner's in the ball game now, joining Austin, Rose, Peterson and Marshall.
You see what a competitor Iverson is? Mo Pete's worried about Iverson's teeth. Iverson doesn't want to talk to him right now.
Nope.
He said, get lost, buddy. And if I'm Mo Peterson, I don't think I'm going to be worried about his teeth. You want to get out there and play this game and break them.
The wave off the 3-ball by Marshall. We've got a charge. And again, you can say what you want about Peterson with the foul, but the truth of the matter is Marshall again left unattended from the left pocket.
Hard to forget about him. We saw that with Bonner in Atlanta Friday night. How do you forget about a guy that's making one shot after another?
Here's Iverson for 3. Allen Iverson.
That was a go ahead, kick me in the teeth. Watch what I do shot.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to And a wrapper on behind the back pass by Rose sails out of bounds for the Raptors. Turnover number 4. They had 18 on Friday against Atlanta.
And a lot of turnovers similar to that one. Unforced turnovers. You really want to make sure you maximize each possession.
Iverson going underneath to McKee. The trailer. Iverson flips it up and in. He broke in the paint. 22 in the lane now for Philadelphia.
Chuck, the first thing you do when your man tosses that ball in is drop into the paint and make sure you stay between your man and the ball. They completely lost track of Iverson.
Philly with 2 players already in double figures. Iverson and Weber have combined for 21. That's what you expect from your franchise players. Bonner with a layup as Alston dropping it down. 5 seconds remaining. Allen Iverson working against Bonner. Baseline, no. And at the end of one, 31-28 Philly. Donyell Marshall, he has been spectacular with 4 triples in the first quarter. President's Choice Raptors basketball from the Air Canada Center on TSN continues in just a moment. By Men and Stats, and of course the glaring stat for Philadelphia, points of the paint 22-4. Leo, what do you have for us?
Well, Chuck, it comes down to fundamentals on defense, even when you're playing great players like Allen Iverson or Chris Webber. Watch Mo Peterson here as the play starts out. Iverson makes the pass. If he frees it right here, your #1 job right now is to step back and see the ball. That pass goes over here, all right, you're in big trouble. Mo Pete's just going to go over here and take off, forget about the play. Watch what Iverson does. See, Mo Pete's already taken off. He's gone. He's all of a sudden says, oh, I better get back. Well, it's too late because Allen Iverson is going right down the lane, getting the pass back from McKee. Fundamental defense. Stay between your man and the basket. When he doesn't have the ball, Sam Mitchell pointing things out to Mo Pete right now, saying, hey, this guy's tough enough as it is. If we give him layups, he gets on a roll. We're going to get buried. You have to maintain your fundamentals playing a great player.
Yep, Allen Iverson, #1 in scoring. Iverson, #1 in field goal attempts. He's 3rd in the league in free throw attempts. He's 5th in the league in assists. He has just been unbelievable. He's 2nd in the league in steals.
Yeah, a big difference having Allen Iverson at the point guard position, Chuck. Remember before when they had Eric Snow, Allen Iverson, yes, he could come off the ball, but when he's got the ball in his hands, he could just do so much. Oh, great move.
Took Mike Jackson to school and hit the deck on a very hard foul. And Sam Mitchell has come on the floor to check on his prize sophomore.
He's all right. Chris Bosh just went down hard. He's okay, but that's just a great move right there. Look at this attack, come back, look at the basket. The head came up, and that's what brought the defender up. Great move right there. Watch the head of Chris Bosh. Watch his head right there. He looks up, and as soon as he looks up, that brings Jackson up out of his stance, and it's game over.
Now, we've talked about what's flagrant and what's not.
That wasn't. Good foul, Chuck. He went up hard. Defense went up hard. I know we disagree on that quite a bit, Chuck, but
yes, we do.
See, you've gone soft.
I'm not going soft. He went for the ball.
Did he go for the ball?
I didn't see his hand touch the ball.
Come on, Chuck. I thought you were a hockey player.
I think Sam Mitchell is talking exactly with Orlando's Poole about that.
I'm sure he is, and that's his job as the coach. He wants to defend his players and try to get every call he can.
31-30 Philadelphia. I think we should go to a seminar in the offseason about what's flagrant and what's not. Of course, when you're coaching,
you should go to counseling in the offseason. Just leave me alone right now, will you?
You know something I don't know. Here's Korver. Iverson. 4 on the clock. Trying to create space. McKee has to hurry. On a double pump. 24-second violation. That's the best half-court set defensively for the Raptors we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely correct.
So the Raptors again looking for their first lead of the ball game early second quarter. Korver playing Bonner tight on the arc. Marshall. Yes, that's number 5.
Chuck, that's amazing. Rodney Rogers was coming into the middle when there was really no play to bring him into the middle. In the meantime, his man, Daniel Marshall's killing everybody.
Meantime, Bosch is all over Jackson. Cannot complete. Jackson on the floor. Retrieves.
That's great effort right there. Tells you you don't have to jump that high to get a rebound.
McKee there. There's Jackson again, just outworking the Raps underneath.
He's just a big banger. He just clears out bodies. As I said, he doesn't have a lot of lift. He's not going to play above the rim, but he's going to move people around and get his boards.
He's got 5 rebounds in 12 minutes. Marshall, that's his first miss of the game. Saved by Bonner. Peterson threw it away.
Late decision.
Tied at 33. Terrific ball game here at the Air Canada Center. Iverson to Korver. Threw it away. And it's on the runway, and we have a foul Rodney Rogers.
A great anticipation right there. Philadelphia looks a little stymied. Jimmy O'Brien on several occasions looking at his players saying, hey, see the floor, see what's out there. Kyle Korver just telegraphing that last pass.
So the officials have a conference now to see whether or not that was a clear path foul.
Well, there's nobody between Daniel Marshall and the basket.
I don't understand that either. Can you tell me, was that a clear path or not?
It appeared so.
Thank you. 33 apiece. Under 10 minutes remaining in the half. Bonner, Peterson. They go back to Bosch. Working against Weber. Four on the clock. Peterson's going to have to hurry. Iverson likes the matchup with Palacio. Popped out. Rodney Rogers started the season with New Orleans. Rim's good.
Again, you can see that play developing. Rodney Rogers cleared out and just turned right back and headed straight to the hoop. Nobody in the Raptors picked him up.
Yep. Rogers reunited with Jimmy O'Brien. They teamed up in Boston. Daniel Marshall. That's number 6. He's got 18 off the bench. Unbelievable. I mean, those 6 o'clock starting times on a Sunday must agree with Daniel.
No, I'm just amazed Philadelphia can't get to him.
Chris Webber. Rimmed out. And he lost the ball. Squirts out of his hands. Roger Fowler didn't get it.
Daniel's open again.
Yep. It says Peterson. Yes! 3, 3, and 3. We ought to go to Vegas.
Well, that's the way to do it, Chuck. You find the open man, Daniel Marshall. He knows people are going to run at him now. He uses that dribble to get his teammate an even better shot.
Rodney Rogers going to jack up a 3.
Yeah, that's what he can do. He comes in off the bench. He's so physical around the basket, yet he's got that feathery touch from behind the arc.
39-38, Raptors by 1. Palacio. Bonner. Rimmed out.
Chuck, I hate to say it. Guess who was open again?
Yep.
Daniel Marshall was standing there in the corner reading a newspaper and nobody saw him.
That's how you run an NBA fast break. See, I think the Raptors should just forget about shooting 2s and stick to 3s.
Well, at times, that's the way it's been for them this season. When they get it going, they start filling it up.
Here's Chris from 16. 41-40, Raptors by 1. Iverson splits the defense. Initiates contact, no whistle. He's still on the floor. It's 5-on-4. Raps have the numbers. Marshall passed up the open look for Moe.
Again, 2 really solid passes from Daniel Marshall. He's the magnet right now, and that's going to leave somebody open.
Korver for 3. The Raptors are 9 of 11 behind the arc. Remember, it was Jim O'Brien, then the head coach of Boston, who saw the Raptors toss a franchise record 17. Another three. This is incredible. Are you kidding me? And Jimmy O'Brien says, is it the building? Is it Toronto? Is it the water? What's going on here?
Air Canada Center with Reuben Carter, a man whose life story was illuminated in a movie starring Denzel Washington. You were in prison for almost 20 years and then exonerated. I know you spoke to the Raptors during Black History Month. I want to ask you what your message was to them.
Well, the message is dare to dream. The Raptors... the Raptors gave an event, Read to Achieve, and they are teaching children how to achieve their goals and their dreams. And the Raptors tonight are doing pretty good with their dreams. They're playing good games.
I was going to say it's appropriate to have the Hurricane courtside because you must have a bit of windburn the way this game is going.
Just a little attitude adjustment, that's all.
It's an up and down game. I want to ask you, Reuben, what did the movie do for your life and your ability to carry your message to people?
It made my life a little busier, which I liked. It emphasized the fact that we can do anything if you just put your mind, your heart, and your soul to it. There's nothing we can do. And that we actually live in fantasy island here. Whatever you can conceive in your mind to believe, if you get up and do it, you can achieve it. My being here today is absolute proof of that.
Maybe the Raptors need Reuben to pay him another visit for some playoff inspiration. Chuck?
All right, Norma, thank you. And the Raptors looking for a little KO punch against Philadelphia right now, trying to put the knockout in the first half. It's 47-43 Raps. And their MO has been 3 balls. Dallenberg back on the floor with a soft J.
But Chuck, again, it comes down to the Raptors know they can score, they can get shots, but they have to make an effort to defend at the other end. They have 47 points on the board, but they've given up 45.
We've got Peterson on the bench. Leo and Mo have been red hot. Here's Korver.
Well, we're talking about red hot. This guy's shooting 40% threes on the season. Kyle Korver has had a couple of clean looks now. Don't need to get him going.
I think Bosch banged up that right hand. He is grimacing in pain. Marshall goes cross court to Jalen. And Rose with the three. And the Raptors are 11 of 14 behind the arc. Their season high, 14. Count it in a foul. Iverson.
See, that's a tough call right there. Iverson just goes in there. There's really no room. He finds a way to slither in, get contact, and he always gets the call.
And welcome back to the Air Canada Center on TSN. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Robbins, Norma Weck. What they doing on the bench with CB4?
Appears that they're taping up his fingers, Chuck. When that ball came to him, one of those plays, Kyle Korver reached in at the same time as the ball was coming to his hand and kind of popped his fingers back. A little snapping of the fingers. Here we get a look as that pass comes in. See, Korver just hits him at the last second, and it appeared his right hand, maybe the pinky finger, the smaller fingers on his hand got hurt.
And what do you do, Leo? Do you snap him back in place?
Well, again, you got to see how it is right now. Looking on the bench, he has his right pinky finger taped up. Hopefully that's not a big deal.
Well, he is wearing
This is a lefty.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. And Iverson at the free throw line to complete his 14th point of the ball game. 51-50 Philadelphia. Bonner comes out firing. Good, and the rocket. For the Raptors, they're 12th. That's right, 12 3-ball of the first half.
What's amazing is when you get a rookie that brings you consistency. You know what you get with Matt Bonner. Every time he steps on the floor, you know where his shots are going to come from. You know the effort you're going to get on defense. He's done a real good job defensively in this game, just trying to play position. He goes after the ball in the glass, but the man brings consistency, and that's the key.
Leo, you know, with Hoffa struggling as the 8th pick of the first round, really, in a sense, this is a bonus for the Raptors to get a second rounder from a year ago to play the way he has been.
That's a great way of looking at it. Back Bonner has exceeded anybody's expectations. They saw something in him. I don't think anybody thought that he was going to step in. Sam Mitchell really fought for him in training camp, but to say that everybody knew what he was going to do at this point, I don't believe anybody had the inkling that he was going to be this good.
I agree. And Palacio threw it behind. Peterson out of bounds. Rob Babcock, the general manager of the Raptors. He's been busy, of course, following postseason NCAA tournament. But he has been high on Matt Bonner from day one when he arrived. He scouted him from Minnesota when Matt was playing at Florida, who, by the way, won the SEC today.
So a big win for them.
Weber,
you know who won the Big East, don't you, Chuck?
Yes, I do.
I wasn't going to bring it up since we're talking college hoops, though.
And who won the Mid-American Conference? The Ohio U Bobcats.
Yeah, we still didn't get to Syracuse, though.
Here's Jalen Rose. He is in the books after struggling with his shot. He's got 5. 55-51 Raptors. Philadelphia really wants to come away with a road win here to start gaining some momentum. They trail Boston into Atlanta. Iverson.
This is when you get in real trouble right there. When Allen Iverson, we mentioned he only shoots 30% from out there, but when he starts hitting that jump shot, you have real problems.
They play off Palacio. And now Milt turns the corner, and he got fouled. So Milt will shoot 2.
Well, nice penetration from Milt. A lot of effort there by Iguodala to not allow Jalen Rose to get the ball. And if you notice what Rose did, he kind of nudged Iguodala right into Palacio as he was turning the corner. And that's when the contact started. The officials paid attention to it. Nice job by the veteran, Jalen Rose.
For the Raptors, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. The other night, with the Raptors losing in overtime to Atlanta, Sam Mitchell's ball club went to the stripe over 30 times.
Yeah, tough to lose a game when you get to the line over 30 times. Raptors are perfect in the first half, 21 for 21. But again, it comes down to the defensive end of the floor. You've got to make stops.
And the Raptors just could not do that against the Hawks. I mean, Tyronn Lue looked like the second coming of Tiny Archibald.
Oh, he really played well. And what I loved the way he played, Chuck, when he went in, he made one big shot after another, and there was no reaction. There was no chest thumping. There was no jumping up and down. It was, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. What's the big deal? I love this cool on the floor.
56-54 Raptors.
Raptors showing some zone.
Yes. Korver. They go inside to Dallenberg. That should be traveling. It is.
You can see that's where he's still got to work on his game. He got the ball, had a nice opportunity for a little short jump shot. He's a lot more comfortable turning his back to the basket and putting it on the floor, and that hesitation forced a whack.
Ready for Alston. Back on the floor for the Raptors from Milt Palacio. 3:14 and running here in the first half on TSN. We appreciate you joining us on a Sunday night. Rayford shakes, bakes. The ankle pass goes to Marshall, giving it up Peterson, back to Daniel from the pocket. And it out stays out. Marshall has 6 triples in this game. Here's Iverson.
He just stops on a dime, Chuck. Even though he missed that shot, you're talking about a guy going 100 miles an hour and just boom, just stops.
Jalen Rose with the layup. Nice triple drive by Rose. And the Raptors again extend their lead to 4. Weber from 19. Iguodala has not been a factor at all on offense.
That's an offensive foul right there. Chris Webber just completely hooking Daniel Marshall.
President Choice Raptors basketball. Our next 3 games. Raptors head east to take on Boston Wednesday. Rogers Sports and Raptors NBA TV. Then back-to-back right here on TSN with the Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. All right, so the Raptors on Friday went with a very tight 8-man rotation. Leo, do you think this is what Sam Mitchell has planned for the rest of the way?
I think Sam Mitchell's going to go with what works, Chuck. I think if he gets a feeling that this is the way to go one night, if he's going to have to play different people another night, he'll do whatever it takes right now to get the best effort and get a win.
Here's Aaron Williams and Lamont Murray. Lamont has 3 straight DNPs. Aaron Williams has played, and I'm being very kind here, sparingly since arriving from New Jersey. Really a non-factor in that deal.
Hey, he's the one player I think I've been the most surprised about that hasn't received any court time for Sam Mitchell since he's come over. I've always liked his game.
Beautiful dribble grab, count it foul! Are you kidding me? Wait for Alston. That is simply magic right there.
Well, we've talked about the Raptors' struggles at the defensive end of the floor, and I'll tell you what, Philadelphia, they've given up 60 already, and this is just an effortless move by Rayford, just going in there, protect the ball a little bit, and dipsy-doo to the hoop.
Yeah, little Rucker Park action. Skip to Mylou. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I'm Jimmy O'Brien right now, I cannot be pleased with my defensive performance. I mean, if you talk playoffs, and Leo, you've already mentioned that from a Raptors perspective, you're Philadelphia. I mean, this is a game you've got to have if you're the Sixers.
No doubt about it. No different than Atlanta was a game the Raptors had to have. This is a game Philly has to have.
Raps on an 11-3 run over the last 3 minutes. Iverson, who has 17 in the ball game. They go inside to Weber. With his back to the rim, the teardrop. No. Rodgers, yes.
See, Raptors got what they wanted from Weber. Not a good shot, no legs in it, but not coming up with the rebound.
Tell you what, Weber has not scored since the first quarter. 61-56 Raptors. Bosch, Bonner for 3. No, it's back in. Raptors 12 of 17 shooting the 3-rock. Here's Rodgers going to launch a 3.
Well, Philadelphia shot selection not good at all.
No. And here we are talking about a ball club at 51% for the ball game. And yes, you can question their shot selection. Bosch with the step back, the 16-footer.
Good looking shot right there. Completely lost Rodney Rodgers on that shake.
Iverson, Weber again, and he fills it up.
Well, he can make that shot. He was very comfortable with that top of the key area jump shot during his time at Sacramento.
We have less than a minute to go right here on TSN. Vic Router, Brian Heady standing by with halftime. Bonner on the drive. Shot blocked by Rodney Rodgers. Picked up by Bosch. From the corner, Jalen Rose.
Bosch, I should say, Rodney Rodgers just completely cleared out Matt Bonner.
Yes, he
on
did.
The rebound.
I'm surprised that was a loose ball foul. Iverson wants it. He can feel it. He wants to take Alston to the rim, and Iverson is fouled. I saw Iverson before the game, and I went up to him, and I said, Alan, and I mean this sincerely, Leo, there are very few players where you can say that, you know, you can honestly say, I'm going to pay to see one athlete play. He is a guy that I would pay to see over and over, and he is worth the price of admission.
Well, you know that every time you pay to see him, you're going to get his best effort. And that's all you can ask of any athlete. Allen Iverson, he was out here early working on his game.
Yep.
Now, you know what, Chuck? Even Allen Iverson, when he comes to Toronto, he understands one thing that's very, very important. You know what that is? Pay homage to the man, the myth, the voice, the Chuckster.
Yeah, well, you know what? I just appreciate his heart. And I told him that, Leo. You know what?
Oh, Chuck, come on. You're being very modest right here. It appears, I know what's happening right here. You're just kind of explaining a few things, but Allen Iverson is basically looking at you and saying, hey, Chuck, you know, I appreciate everything you do. Every time I turn on the game and I can hear you, I know you're giving the best effort. He goes, I pay. He goes, I get satellite. I pay to listen to you. I know that was the conversation, Chuck. No, modesty aside.
But Leo, realistically, I mean, don't you think if more players in this league had his heart?
Oh, no doubt about it. And, you know, you could look at a lot of different things and pick out different things of his game. Some people call call him selfish. Some people say he's difficult to play with. But you know what? This guy comes to play.
Yep.
He comes to play. And we've seen it firsthand in Toronto with Vince Carter even flat out coming out and saying, I didn't try. That's the worst thing a professional athlete could ever say.
Yep. Whether it's game 3, 30, or 82, he plays one way.
And he doesn't play a simple game. This guy gets beat up, gets knocked down, gets to the free throw line, but he keeps coming back.
I think he's the best small man in the history of the sport. Here's Alston. Rolling off. Alston to the cup. That was sweet, and he'll shoot 2.
Sweet, slick, and about as quick as you can get right there. Rafer Alston having a little fun with the ball.
Big players, once players schools them, they want to come right back.
Yeah, and you want to be careful with that. You don't want to get into a tit-for-tat game. And earlier this season, that was a problem for Rafer Alston. That's how he was being scouted. But if you go at him, he's going to come right back at you, and they can take him out of the game that way. But he's been much better with that. That time I just felt he had an opening. What I really liked about it, Chuck, he protected the ball. Once he beat the first man, he protected the ball very well to get to the bucket.
Bosch coming back on the floor for defensive purposes. Want to make sure they get a shot blocker in the event that Philadelphia drives the lane after the free throws by Rafer, who has 10 here in the half. And it's Iverson. He will take the last shot unless he does not get it back to give it to Iguodala. Now, would you rather have Iverson or Iguodala? Here's Bosch. And at the end of the first half,
that was smooth, though. He will take the last shot, unless, of course, he gives it to Iguodala.
That's right.
See, that's why you're the best.
It's called a bailout.
% against our zone. They were like 8 for 22 I have here, and 18 for 29 against a man, so it's a little over 60%. So I'm not a threat to Harvard or Yale, but I'm pretty sure you'll see us play a little more zone in the second half. Probably have to tighten that zone up a little bit, see if they keep firing away. If they start hitting some threes, we'll have to come out of it a little bit more probably. And if we do play that zone, maybe take a little time off the clock. Hopefully, they've already taken 51 shots in the first half, which is quite a few shots. So see what happens here in the second half.
All right, there you have it. The half-naked truth from Jim Todd. Good luck in the second half. All right, Chuck, the Raptors shot 33s, and each time they played the Sixers, the difference tonight is they're hitting about 66%.
All right, thanks, Norm. I got to get a calculator out because mine's busted after all those threes. Thanks to Danielle Marshall, who has 6. By the way, for those of you, and this could be on our IBM winning strategies, the individual team record, Leo, by the way, is 9, set by D. Brown back in '99. Go ahead.
Well, we talked about Allen Iverson making jumpers. Well, guess what? He did a little bit of everything. He got into the paint, and that created a good feel. Started making his jumpers as well. Defensive effort, well, whew. Not a lot of defense in this game, even though the percentage indicates 11 to 26, just not a lot of defense right there. Board presence, boards are about even. Raptors have to make sure that stays at the very worst even.
Allen Iverson in this ball game played 24 minutes. In other words, the entire half. 19 points, 7 assists, 3 boards. Our halftime stats: points to the paint, 32 to 8 in favor of Philadelphia. Second chance points, 10-0 in favor of Philadelphia.
Also, Philadelphia, I mean, their field goal percentage shooting better than 50%. Raptors have to bring that number down. They can't just rely on the 3. If the 3's falling, that's fantastic, but you can't allow a team to shoot that well.
So we start the third quarter right here on TSN. 63-60 Raptors. Trying to bag a win to go into Boston on Wednesday and put a dent to Philadelphia's playoff chances as Bosch on a pump, and Dellenberg has picked up his 3rd.
Again, Bosch
is
so
4th,
good at
I beg
that.
your pardon.
Yeah, Jimmy O'Brien a little frustrated. You just don't want to leave your feet if you're a 7-footer to go up and try to block everything like that. Just getting a hand up is enough. Chris Bosch realizing who he's playing against and how eager that defender is to try to block.
Now they went over to the scores table to make sure about Dellenberg, and they have checked it and changed it to his 3rd. And so now Dellenberg, and now they've corrected it again, and now they give him 4. So thankfully the scores table is on the same page with the rest of us.
I thought you were going to try a new defense, Chuck. 6 men on the floor.
Yep.
I heard it's very effective.
Yes.
Chuck, one of the things that impressed me in the first half And not only with the Raptors hitting the threes, but Daniel Marshall, Mo Peterson, they hit 9 threes between the two of them. Between the two of them, they also had 7 assists. So once people started coming at him, they distributed the basketball and got it to the open man. And that's good team basketball.
Well, it's good team basketball as well for Bosch. This is 8th free throw attempt of the ball game. 65-60 Raptors now. Leo Hoffa picked up 2 quick fouls in the ball game again. And let's see if they run some plays. Believe it or not, for Mark Jackson to go at Hoffa. Here is Weber. No. Raptor ball. Alston works off a Bosch screen to 17-footer, and he drills it.
Ray for Alston's looked very comfortable with his shot, Chuck. Right from the first one he took in the corner in the first half, he's very comfortable shooting it with ease.
Jackson with a careless pass. Raptors on the run. Peterson. Rose. Rafer was very effective going straight to the cup in the first half. And Jackson has fouled Alston, making sure that he's all right.
A little floater there. Ray for Alston looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to take it. Never really let go of that ball. In his nicer rhythm, as I just finished saying, he's been shooting. Interesting, too, defensively, Iguodala on Ray for Alston. That leaves Iverson on Jalen Rose. And you know Jalen Rose loves to operate with smaller players on him down low. See if the Raptors can take advantage of that matchup.
Weber threw it away. Peterson, the lead pass, and it went off court right out of bounds.
See, again, an example of a player making up his mind what he wants to do. Ray for Alston was wide open to his left, but Mo Pete just made up his mind. He was going to go right with the ball no matter what.
I don't think the start of this quarter has been a textbook one for either club.
You think?
Rose with a post-up on Iguodala with a turnaround jumper, and he just abused him on the right baseline.
Yeah, see, they've been freely switching back and forth on that matchup. This time with Iguodala and Rose, he's comfortable. Anytime it's a smaller player, even a player his size, he will go in the post.
6-0 run to start the third quarter for the Raptors. Porter inside the Weber with a slam.
Now, see, Raptors playing the zone that time, and if you're in the back line of that zone, you have got to communicate. If there's nobody down, you have to step up to take that middle away.
We played 2 third-quarter minutes. Bosch against Weber. I mean, if I'm Bosch, I think I can take C. Webb.
Yes, he can, and he does. Bosch can take Weber in a lot of different ways. He can play with his back to the basket, as we saw right there. He can put the ball on the floor and get by him. He can also take the jump shot if he's not respected on the perimeter.
He's got 17 points and 7 rebounds. They play up on Korver. Weber again. Nobody underneath the rebound for Philadelphia. 71-62 Raptors. Again, the Raptors can really smell it here, Leo. They've got a situation where they can win this ball game. Hoffa, no. He's got to be able to finish. Nope. Third attempt. Nope. Bosch with the offensive board. Peterson, 3-ball jump. There you go. I told you, Leo. They can't get it done from inside the lane. And welcome back to TSN Sunday Night Ball. And we'll also have TSN from Detroit at the Palace. 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Raps and Pistons on Friday night. Chuck Swirsky, Leo Rounds, Norma Wick, and Allen Iverson. Here we talk about Steve Nash, talk about LeBron James, Amari Stoudemire, whatnot. What about Allen Iverson as your MVP?
Oh, he's certainly a candidate. I think a lot would depend on really what Philadelphia ends up doing, whether they make the playoffs and how well they do. But he means as much to his team as any of the MVP candidates that you mentioned.
You know, Leo, you look at Philadelphia right now and how poorly they are playing defense. And Iverson, you can justify, because next year they start a 4-year, $80 million-plus contract, and he's worth it. But you get locked in with 2 mega deals like Iverson and Weber, not a lot of wiggle room, and they're going to have to re-sign Dallenberg.
You know, you're absolutely right. They're not putting themselves in a great situation to surround these players with quality people that can get it done.
Nice pass. Rose to Peterson.
Jalen Rose, great vision on the floor, Chuck. When he takes his time and plays that complete game, looking for his offense, looking for his teammates, he's a pleasure to watch out there.
Weber with a power move. Nope, couldn't get the scoop to go. And it goes out of bounds. Weber saw Chris prior to the ball game. He and Jalen Rose, of course, members of the Fab Five of the University of Michigan. Those two appeared in a couple of Final Fours, losing to Duke and North Carolina, respectively.
Do you think we'll ever see that again, Chuck?
No, absolutely not, because Weber would have come straight out of Country Day into the NBA.
With all the kids playing AAU ball today, it's amazing more of them don't get together and say, hey, we're all going to go to the same place, and we're going to try to do that same thing, get to the Final Four.
Rose with a beautiful save and a steal. And to pick up on that thought is Bosch from the baseline. Rebound Iverson. The members of the Fab Five have stayed in touch. They are very well connected, and there was a bond underneath as Iguodala will shoot too. I mean, the Raptors, when they were on the tour last week, saw Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. Juwan Howard still in the league, of course, with Jalen Rose and Chris Webber.
How about this?
Yep, this is the Chrysler Arena against Duke. And there's Chris Collins, the son of Doug Collins. Here's Webber in the NCAA championship game against North Carolina.
Hooking up together. Two great passers, great competitors. Jalen Rose, even back then, loved the ball down the stretch.
Sure did.
I remember the first time I saw Chris Webber, and what amazed me, his body, just how physical, how smooth, how strong. He had the complete package at such a young age.
And a big fan of the Fab Five, Forbes, Finn Robertson. He came up with the old retro vintage film. And that's where it was from. So we thank Forbes for his efforts.
Again, we're seeing Hoffa work inside, Chuck, but he's just rushing everything once he gets it. We talk about that night in and night out. He's just got to slow down and go up strong. Play big. Take people with you. Now, Iverson, Mo Pete said, hey, what do I got to do to get a call right here? I thought I had him.
Here's Bosch with Webber playing behind him. Bosch really wants to go after Webber. Let's see if he gets another touch. Alston throwing it around to Peterson. Now 9 on the clock. Peterson forces it up, hits the deck, and will shoot two.
Now, Raptors got something out of that, Chuck, but I like what you suggested. Let's see if the Raptors go back to Chris Bosch and see if he can attack Webber. I think it would have been a little easier effort on offense, but fortunately the Raptors come away with a couple of free throws here.
Peterson at the free throw line. You know, Leo, we have mentioned over and over about the transition. How long will it take for two megastars, and Iverson and Webber, to work out? Do great players want to play with great players, or do you think there's an ego involved where, you know, do I have to give up something to get something?
No, I think they definitely want to play. You have more success when you play with great players. However, certain players just don't mesh. And I don't know if these two are going to mesh. Remember, we talked about this in other Philadelphia games that, you know, you have to build a team around Allen Iverson. He is not the easiest to play with. He's extremely talented, but he needs the ball in his hands. At Sacramento, when Webber played there, that ball, everybody touched it, and it went through Webber a great deal of the time. So it's a very different environment for him to be in here, and I don't know if he's going to be able to play in this environment.
But another turnover for Philadelphia. And that is their 11th. And this is pre-trade, post-trade, Leo. So there you have the numbers.
That's right. When points are a little bit up, but Webber, his numbers are down.
Alston for three. For the Raptors, that is number 14. They're 3 away from tying the franchise record. Iverson for three. I'll tell you something, Leo, and we're big on this. We're so close to the action. Right now, I don't like Philadelphia's body language at all.
No. Well, what they're doing, defensively, they're just kind of giving up. And offensively, the first guy that gets the look, he's just taking a shot. And you can see the reaction of other players. Great pass. Excellent look inside.
Chris Webber coming over from Sacramento. It is a 9th game, a Hyundai drive to win. And it's C. Webb. Got off to a nice start, but has been quiet since the first quarter.
Well, early in the game, Chuck, you got a lot of easy opportunities around the basket. Raptors defense extremely porous, and he took advantage of it. Also hitting that elbow and top of the key jump shot, which he's so effective at. And a couple of dimes he got to drop off. Excellent passer. So right now the Raptors have done a great job of keeping him under wraps.
Yep, played for the Warriors, had some issues with Don Nelson. Went to Washington, had some off-the-court issues, and then really found his comfort zone in Sacramento and played very well.
All right, Sacramento obviously never won the big one, which is what they were attempting to do, and a lot of the blame went on Chris Webber.
Well, tough to when you're running into Shaq and Kobe year after year.
You're right, but they had their opportunities. And the big question I've always had with Chris Webber is down the end of ball games. Is that somebody you want on the floor? He's a guy that can put up tremendous numbers, but in the final couple of minutes of the game, is that the guy that's going to take you over the top? And that's been some of the criticism directed his way.
So a lot of this league is about timing, Leo, as you know. And we talked about Webber and the Kings against the Lakers, and Webber completes a layup. You know, those years with the Bulls, with the Cavaliers, I mean, Cleveland was racking up win after win, but they would run into Michael Jordan in the playoffs, just couldn't get over the hump.
No, Utah Jazz would have had a couple of championships. It wasn't for Chicago as well.
Yep. Here's Bosh from 18. Hoffa with the offensive rebound. And the pitch out. Giving it up. Raptors showing patience here. We're near the 5-minute mark, third, 83-69 Raptors. What do you run here, Leo?
Looks like they're trying to get a pick and roll involving Bosh and Alston.
Rafer with two. Blue ball there. Another offensive rebound for Hoffa. Boy, Crippen saved the box sheet on this one. Here's Bosh. Peterson for three. Yes! And they're going to give him a two.
That's a great decision right there. Chris Bosh got the ball. He's going inside. He looks like he's going to turn middle. Looks up. There's his teammate wide open. Just kicks it out for an uncontested two.
Now here's Rodney Rogers. He could nail the three, but he's short on this one. Iverson weaving inside.
He's so good at changing speed, changing direction. It doesn't have to be a big opening. As a matter of fact, sometimes that opening looks like it doesn't exist, but he finds it, and not only gets through it, but finds a way to score.
The spacing for the Raptors has been outstanding tonight.
Yeah, they've done a real good job right now making Philadelphia move their feet, and that's just poor defense by Webber and not getting any help at all.
Yeah, and that's why I would run ISO after ISO.
Well, any pick and roll.
Webb.
Well, any pick and roll involving Chris Webber has been effective for the Raptors.
With a pull-up, Iverson is off the mark. Hoffa has played very well over the last couple of minutes. Down the floor, and it's Peterson. We go to Rose. Missed the dunk. Caruso with a third offensive rebound in the corner and the putback. Caruso, the Brazilian beast.
Oh, and he deserves that bucket, Chuck. He's been working, trying to get the ball. He hasn't had a lot of luck putting it back, but that time, finally getting one to stay down.
Obviously, to fade the fire now. I mean, Hoffa's got 9 boards in the ballgame.
And you know what? When he's not getting it, he's moving bodies around, so he's doing a lot more than just getting the rebounds. And, oh, boy, the Raptors are on a roll.
Jalen Rose with the tray. That's number 15 for the Raptors.
Oh, we talked about the first team deciding to defend. The Raptors have been playing defense or working hard. Philadelphia, first guy that gets it is jacking it up.
The Raptors lead by 21, folks. Iverson for three. I mean, this is 1 and out for Philadelphia. Go ahead, Jalen. Pop it for three. Bosh with an offensive two. Oh, he's having some fun, and so are the Raptors, and this crowd is loving it. On the
win. This is the NBA, and on a given night, even the worst teams can put out a great performance and put out a lot of effort like Atlanta Hawks did Friday. But right now, you see what the Raptors can do. In the first half, you saw their offense. Here in the second half, in the third quarter, you're seeing their offense plus a concerted effort at the defensive end. When they're going after it, they can be pretty good.
94-71 Raptors, third quarter on TSN with 2:30 remaining. Bosh, by the way, 1 rebound away from another double-double. That will give him number 25 on the season. Iverson, who leads the league in minutes played at 42 minutes per game. They go low post to Dallenberg. Corver, he threw it away.
And see what happens a lot with good offensive teams, Chuck. The better offense they play, the more their defense picks up. Right now, the Raptors are moving, talking. They're getting a hand. Everybody's active. They're inspired by their offense, and they really can feed off of that at the defensive end.
Well, if you talk to any of these players, they were embarrassed by what happened Friday.
Well, they should have been.
Here's Rafer running on the baseline. Are you kidding me? Rafer Alston.
Chuck, when he left his feet, he turned his head back to the outside to see who might be open, and the Philadelphia team relaxed, and he just laid it in.
Jackson, no. Raps have reeled off 11 straight points with 1:38 remaining third. Jalen wants it against Corver. Goes cross court to Hoffa. Nice decision by Toronto. Peterson lost the handle and turned it over. On the runway, it's Iverson. And he got stripped. Loose on the floor. Bosh going to the deck. And he turned it over. Jackson with the layup.
Everybody's looking for a foul right now, but great effort hitting the deck by Chris Bosh. Coming up limping, though.
And Rafer fouled on the baseline. Yeah, Bosh took some punishment. But again, you know what, Leo? Here we're talking about a 23-point lead for the Raptors. Guess who's going to the floor? That man. And that's why he will emerge as the leader of this ball club.
That's right. Well, your franchise guy sets the tone and just diving right underneath Dallenberg. And there definitely was a foul by Corver. As a matter of fact, Corver's the guy that hurt his hand earlier in the game. Chris Bosh getting a little breather.
Yep.
And a big round of applause from all the fans here at Air Canada Center.
I talked to Chris at halftime about that hand injury. He said, Chuck, hey, you just play on. It's no big deal. And you love to hear that. Now Rose working against Aaron McKee. Alston back to Rose. Getting a little sugar here.
That's a walk.
Yep.
That's right, getting back to Chris Bosh. Remember last year, Chris Bosh and Vince Carter hurt their ankles about the same time. And if you talk to anybody within the organization, they said Chris Bosh's ankle was a lot worse than Vince Carter's. He played. He played right through it, and that just tells you the kind of competitor he is.
Dallenberg. No. Dallenberg. Yes.
Outstanding effort. You love a big guy like that that's so quick off his feet. Now, one of the things the Raptors cannot do is relax. They've done a great job on the glass, as well as putting up that effort defensively. They'll have to sustain it now.
Alston, Marshall, Peterson back to Daniel, going for a 7-3. He has it. Oh my goodness! Daniel Marshall at 21. And for the Raptors, they continue to fill it up behind the three-point arc.
I'm sorry, Chuck. This is the NBA. At some point in time, you got to figure out who's making shots and who's not.
Corver with the long two. Alston. Around and out. And that will end the third quarter. All Toronto 99-77 Raps. And this crowd really responding to the effort and energy Toronto gave their fans against Philadelphia here in the third on TSN.
The all-new 2005 Hyundai Tucson, winner of the AJAC Best New Crossover Vehicle Award. Perfect for whatever, whenever.
Hey, you didn't type in your password.
Don't have to. Biometrics.
What?
Wherever I am, I just swipe, password goes in, I'm connected. Biometrics.
A bionic finger. Cool. It's like 10 times stronger than a regular finger.
No, it's for passwords. No, it's more like na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Na-na-na-na-na-na. Better.
Secure wireless made easy. Only on a ThinkPad with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
The Coors Light Brewing Company asks, who likes a beer that's ice cold? Who likes a beer with an easy drinking taste? How about crisp? clean and incredibly smooth.
Okay, who's picking this up?
Coors Light, the silver bullet.
I need protection that holds up under pressure. That's why I use Speed Stick 24/7.
With time-released sweat and odor fighters, its non-stop formula is active day and night to give you the highest level of protection from Speed Stick. Speed Stick 24/7. It never quits.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
Coming into the ACC, the Chicago Bulls. 7 o'clock on the 23rd of March. Make your plans, 416-872-5000. The Bulls lost today to the Clips, but they played very well out west. Our Speed Stick 5 minute third quarter stats.
Well, Philadelphia finally below 40%. Raptors right below 50%. Finally, Raptors right up there. But look at the three-point shots. 16 of 25. 36 third quarter points. Let's join Norma Witt.
Thank you, guys. Raptors out-rebounded Philly 17-6 in last quarter. Hoffa, 9 rebounds in the quarter, 7 offensive. And the last time out, before he came out of the game, he was down on one knee, very excitedly telling his teammates about an opening that he saw. But unfortunately, nobody could understand a word that he said. Sam Mitchell just laughed, and they all gave him a little pat on the head and thanked him for his effort. Guys?
Chuck, one of the things with Hoffa, when he gets excited, he is sometimes hard to understand. So you can see if he gets a little carried away in the game that his teammates might not catch on to what he's trying to say.
Just like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Marshall, by the way, has a career high with 7 triples. The Raptors as a team, 16 of 25. Here's Iverson. And he is fouled. Allen Iverson has attempted 21 shots. Been to the line only 3 times, which is really uncharacteristic of an Allen Iverson performance against the Raptors.
Well, kind of as a team, Philadelphia has settled for taking shots, Chuck. They've only been there as a team 5 times. Raptors have been there 15, despite all the threes they've attempted.
Well, you talk about threes, and again, Jimmy O'Brien, then the head coach of Boston, last year on the bench with the Celtics. And again, the Raptors had just completed that deal. And with Rose and Donyell Marshall, Lonnie Baxter, and the Raptors filled it up at Philadelphia, came home and had 17, a franchise record against O'Brien's Celtics. And here we are a year later.
Oh, that's, you know, the Raptors have had those games. Unfortunately, Jimmy O'Brien has been a recipient of several of them where they just get on a roll. One player makes the three. It's contagious. All of a sudden, everybody starts knocking them down. But one of the things that have been so impressive in this game, and I pointed out earlier, that the guys making the threes are the guys giving up the ball, creating another opportunity for their teammate, whether it be a three or something else. And when guys are willing to do that, even when they have the hot hand, you can win a lot of games.
That's right. Conversely, Philadelphia 6 of 17, and up until Korver arrived last year, as Sam Mitchell looking on in his club at a comfortable 19-point lead. So for the most part, O'Brien has coached 3-point shooters when he was in college at the University of Dayton, when he was on the bench with Rick Pitino with the Knicks. That was his style of play. So I guess he's getting a dose of his own medicine today against a red-hot Raptor club.
And he really does not have a lot of those type of weapons. Allen Iverson obviously gets on a roll every once in a while from behind the arc, and Korver is the one main guy. So if you get up on him, you really take away a lot of their perimeter strength. The Raptors doing a great job of hustling down missed shots. And one of the ways to do that, Chuck, when you know when the shots are being taken, when you move the ball around and you have a better idea who's taking it, when it's going to be taken, you have a better chance of getting the rebound. Philadelphia hasn't had a lot of opportunities, especially in that third quarter, because the first guy that got it was jacking it up, and it doesn't give you a chance to get good position and get that second chance effort.
Leo, after tonight's game, the Raptors have 19 remaining. And the Raptors have been health-free this year. Let's face it, not one of their core group players has been out for an indefinite period of time. And so they have a pretty good evaluation of what they have and what they don't have for next year. And I think these 19 games, it's going to tell a lot in terms of these young players, and not only what we can expect in the offseason, but for next year.
Well, no doubt about it. And I think, even though, again, I think this playoff talk really has to be put in perspective, but not this. Donyell Marshall on Unbelievable. 8 3-pointers, and he's enjoying it as much as anybody else.
Yeah, and the Raptors have tied a franchise high with 17. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, the idea is that I think the playoff talk is good for one thing. You have a lot of players that you're saying to, hey, all right, we're going for it, we're going for it, we're trying to make it. Mathematically, we're still in. That means every game is a pressure game. You have to play. You're saying who can respond to that? Who can play when the game, every game literally is on the line if you want to be a playoff team? And I think you learn a lot about your guys, Chuck.
Dallenberg.
Yes, you got it. He passed up a couple of those shots earlier in the first half. Gets in the middle, just go up and take it.
I mean, this was a game, Philadelphia. They got booed at home a few nights ago, losing to Golden State. They responded with a 32-point win against the Bobcats. And Leo now in the game is Bonner Jackson, a 2-point field goal. I mean, if I'm Jimmy O'Brien and Billy King, who runs the Philadelphia 76ers, I've got to be disappointed because you can't afford to have these setbacks if you are, quote-unquote, a playoff contender.
And why did they make the trade for Chris Webber and get Rodney Rogers to solidify their position as a playoff team?
Well, with the loss in Philadelphia, will lose this ball game. They're going to drop to 4 and 5 with Webb on the floor. And here's Bosch.
And what we're seeing right now is what the Raptors did Friday night. Webber looking on, his team not guarding at all. One open shot after another. Give the Raptors credit. They're moving the basketball, but Philadelphia is not doing a lot to challenge.
They have done a terrific job on Korver today.
Daniel's having such a hot hand. Even Korver wants to give him the ball.
Well, again, I like that line, Leo. Thank you. Here's Palacio, knifing in goaltending on Dallenberg.
See, that was so easy. By the time Dallenberg gets there, Palacio's already hitting the ball in the glass. You got to make it a little bit harder for anybody with the basketball to get in the lane.
Well, Sam Mitchell and the Raptors in their comfort zone, leading 108-85. Fourth quarter, 8:18 on TSN.
Perfectly tuned, the all-new Boxster. Porsche, there is no substitute.
Looks like we've got a couple of lovebirds.
I need you now.
Fresh toasted subs are here, like the Chicken Bacon Ranch. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
I need protection that holds up under pressure. That's why I use Speed Stick 24/7.
Speed Stick 24/7's effective formula provides non-stop protection to keep you as dry and fresh as ever in the toughest situations. With time-released sweat and odor fighters, its non-stop formula is active day and night to give you the highest level of protection from Speed Stick.
He's incredible.
Speed Stick 24/7. It never quits.
And Sports Center, 10:30 Eastern. TSN tonight with Horton and O'Toole. We've got the latest sports news, of course, from the Briar and then some. And let's take a look at our Atlantic standings, Leo. Philadelphia right now 3 behind Boston. You've got the Knicks, the Nets, and the Raps. Do you think Philadelphia is a playoff team? What you've seen of them?
Well, Chuck, I've seen two different Philadelphia teams. I've seen a team that's extremely competitive, that has size, that can go after it. And Allen Iverson, obviously an MVP candidate, can get it done. And then you see a Philadelphia like tonight where you wonder, it looks like some of these guys have never played together. Now, granted, a few of these guys have only played for a short period of time, but they really have to find a way to get their chemistry up and going very soon for Jimmy O'Brien, because this team, if they want to make a run, they got to make it happen right now.
The veteran Aaron McKee fills it up just inside the arc. 108-88 Rapt. Again, the Raptors with 17 threes. The next one is a new franchise high. Here's Palacio.
Daniel Marshall.
Marshall. They go on the block to Bosch. The pitch. Marshall for the franchise record. There it is. It'll be on Sports Center. Ring it up. Daniel Marshall.
You could see that coming. Samuel Dalembert just didn't want to stay with them. Corver, good response.
Daniel Marshall with 9 triples has tied the franchise mark, along with D. Brown in Milwaukee back in the lockout year of 99.
There's a good chance he's going to get a few more, Chuck.
He's going to go for it. You know they want to give him the rock. And here it is. Go for it, Daniel.
Great work. Nice job by Palacio to get him the ball.
Mark Johnson, a little garbage time here with 7:05 remaining. Can you imagine that, Leo? All 9 field goals behind the arc.
Well, that's why so many teams, remember before the trade deadline, all the talk about Daniel Marshall. If you're a contending team, or if you have a team with a big guy like San Antonio, like Miami Heat with Shaquille O'Neal, a Daniel Marshall that can space out the defense as much as he can, he is a very valuable commodity. And at the same time, he gives you rebounding and defensive position.
And Corver with a 3-ball, count it, and a foul.
Chuck, the Raptors have to be careful. It appears that they're walking away with this game, but Philadelphia's got some streaky guys. They can get him back in a hurry, and so 6.5 minutes left in the game is a long time.
Well, Leo, you can't. Are you telling the Raptors are not going to lose this game?
How many games have we seen this season? I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm saying that they have an opportunity to close this game out, and they don't want to let up their intensity because Philadelphia does have some high-powered guys like Iverson. Corver can get hot, hit threes like he's doing right now, and you never know what can happen.
Well, you're not going to blow a 25-point home lead to Philadelphia. Here is Bosch. Giving it up to Palacio.
25-point. Where are they at right now?
Here is Bosch. Rebound Philadelphia with 6:15 remaining. What are you saying here?
Where are they at right now?
Corver. I'll tell you after this set. Mark Jackson working on Bosch. And we're going to have a loose ball foul against Philadelphia. Yep. Well, it's 113-97. It's 16 points.
And you're telling me that 6 minutes is a brief period in an NBA game? Sam is not letting up. Sam is coaching his game as if it's a 2-point game.
But he should.
Because he understands what's on the other side of the floor. Philadelphia can get on the roll very quickly.
Oh, relax, Leo. You should hire me as your assistant.
Oh, Chuck, I'm not playing. I'm relaxed.
Sixers on a 9-2 run. Here is Peterson. Peterson. Yes! That's a 2-pointer.
Oh, if that happens, the Raptors are in good shape right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures for the Raptors. And Philly turns it over. Here's Palacio on a 3-on-2. Right to the lane. Bosch to Daniel. And a finger roll. What's wrong with Daniel? That's a 2-pointer.
Yeah, he didn't want it. Unselfish play there. Chris Bosch dropping it off. Raptors have really enjoyed sharing the basketball in this game. They've done a great job of getting each other involved in the ball game, and that always makes it fun for anybody to play. 28 assists for Trump.
A season-high 117 points. With 5 minutes remaining here at the Air Canada Center, 117-99. Raps will be in Boston Wednesday and Detroit on Friday. And then the Cavaliers roll into town a week from today. Peterson. Marshall. That is a franchise record. Daniel Marshall. It is your night, my man. He's got 32.
Well, Chuck, from 2 minutes ago when I said that you never know with Philadelphia, I think you can officially see this game now.
Well, the salami and cheese is waiting. It's not yet. It's not there. It's still in the refrigerator, okay?
A lot of points now, 4 minutes.
Marshall again, right on. Get out the salami and cheese, mother. This ball game is over. You are a part of history, folks. Daniel with 35. He's got 11 threes.
Wow. Unbelievable performance. Chuck, everybody in the building knows who's going to shoot the ball. I'm still amazed that Philadelphia hasn't figured it out.
A standing ovation for Donyell Marshall.
Toasted subs are here. Subway, eat fresh.
The Coors Light Brewing Company asks, who likes a beer that's ice cold? Who likes a beer with an easy drinking taste? How about crisp, clean, and incredibly smooth?
Okay, who's picking this up?
Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Hello, Moto.
New Tylenol Cold with Cool Burst, demo number 6. How fast will he feel the Cool Burst sensation? Oh my. New Tylenol Cold with Cool Burst coating. A cool, soothing sensation you can feel instantly.
President Choice Raptors basketball at Boston with Rogers Sportsnet, Raptors NBA TV, TSN, Detroit, and home with Cleveland. Well, Donyell Marshall, how about this, folks?
Now, check this out. This guy has made 11 threes in this game. Hey, guys, give me a shot. Thanks. Now, okay, you see it maybe once, but this happened 11 times, Chuck. He's just walking out there. He's not even running to get position. Philadelphia is giving him one look after another. Amazing.
Well, he has set an individual franchise high with 11 threes. The Raptors as a team set a franchise record with 20 threes. Leo, they are 5 points away from tying their all-time franchise mark with 128 points. And again, these have been, for the most part, uncontested.
Raptors also doing the job on the glass, Chuck. They're 42-35 advantage right now over Philadelphia. And we talked about that as one of the keys. You've got to get the boys. And Donyell Marshall sitting there wide open again.
And he's got Dallenberg on him.
Yeah, I think at this point, Dallenberg might not want to leave him.
Well, Donyell, 2 points away from tying his career high. Bosh again, Chris Bosh. You know, no one's talked about his game. He's got a double-double of 25 and 10.
Yeah, and that's not a quiet double-double. No. 25 and 10. Great job of shooting the ball, 9 of 17. Been to the free throw line 8 times, made 7. But when your teammate's knocking down 11 threes, pretty impressive.
No quitting that, man. Allen Iverson with 32.
And Chris Bosh, Chuck, 5 assists in the game. Raptors 31 assists as a team.
Palacio in traffic and threw the ball way over there. I mean, Donyell Marshall, he's 6'10", but even that he couldn't get to, and that pass was deflected away out of bounds. It'll be Raptor ball with 12 on the clock. 125, 104, 2:59 remaining on the Donyell Marshall Television Network.
They arrived this morning.
On your ThinkPads.
Yeah, a wireless workhorse. It's got Intel, stainless hinges, titanium composite, hard drive protection, rock solid.
Slick. Who gets the first one?
I work up real sweat, you know?
Phil.
Klutz-proof wireless.
I'm okay.
Only on a ThinkPad with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
The The new hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Subway, eat fresh.
The new Ford 500. We thought about space safety architecture to give you more protection. We thought about command seating to give you a better view of the road. We thought about all-wheel drive for more control. We thought about all these things so you'll have less to think about. The new Ford 500. We keep thinking about what a sedan should be because we want you to drive a Ford.
New Tylenol Cold with Cool Burst, demo number 6. How fast will he feel the Cool Burst sensation? Oh my. New Tylenol Cold with Cool Burst coating. A cool, soothing sensation you can feel instantly.
Well, it has been raining threes, folks. And the Raptors have taken care of business at the Air Canada Center. 20 of 31 beyond the arc.
And for X factors. Okay, let's X. Here's an X factor. It's called number 42, Daniel Marshall, 11 of 16 from 3. That's it. That's your X factor right there. Forget all the other ones. We both aired tonight, Chuck. Daniel Marshall, yes, he was the man.
You know, we should just give him a whole crate, a carton of Gatorade. I mean, the way he's played tonight, wow. I mean, again, for those of you who just joined us, this guy was on fire, Leo, the moment he got off the bench.
And you know what? Even though, Philadelphia has just done a horrible job guarding him, giving him one open look after another, but bottom line is you still got to make those shots. And Daniel Marshall has made one after the other.
Marshall again. That's it. I'm out of here. Daniel Marshall, a career high 38. Daniel Marshall has been spectacular. His 12th triple of a ball game.
Unbelievable.
I mean, if you're Doc Rivers right now watching this game.
Daniel Marshall's licking his fingers, running down to the
You got to be kidding me.
He wanted that shot.
Again, Daniel Marshall has tied the NBA record with 12. Josh Davis for 3. Around the iron and out. Why not give it up to him? Give him the record right now. We've seen everything tonight. Daniel! Winning? No.
And he's going for it, Chuck, but he's rushed his last couple of shots. Not quite as smooth as his other ones, but he's trying to get that last three-pointer.
I think, are they going to take him out of the ball game? Aaron Williams, warning words, and Pop Soul coming out. And yes, Daniel is getting a big hug from Jalen Rose. We'll be right back. This is unbelievable. Glad you could join us on TSN.
It all just seems like a dream. I can't stand it when we're apart.
We need to spend more time together. We're more than the sum of our parts. I never knew I could feel this way. It's like we were made for each other.
I'm glad you like it.
The Cayenne. Porsche. There is no substitute.
They arrived this morning.
On your ThinkPads.
Yeah, a wireless workhorse. It's got Intel, stainless hinges, titanium composite, hard drive protection, rock solid.
Slick. Who gets the first one?
I work up real sweat, you know?
Phil.
Klutz-proof wireless.
I'm okay.
Only on a ThinkPad with Intel Centrino mobile technology.
And welcome back to the Air Canada Center. Up next on TSN, CIS basketball, the women's final. So make it a point to stay with us right here on TSN. Well, Daniel Marshall, well, I mean, he not only booked three-pointers, he rewrote the book.
And Daniel, amazing performance. 12 of 18. Franchise record for threes made in the game. One short of an NBA record. And the Raptors have tied a record, or set a record as a team with 21 threes. Unbelievable performance. And Daniel's still on the floor.
He's still in the game. So maybe during the timeout, they let the Raptors know that Danielle is 1 3-ball away from an NBA record.
Now, my guess is Philadelphia's going to find him for this last shot, Chuck. Kyle Korver is on him like glue right now.
Here is Marshall off the dribble.
Just a 2. Danielle Marshall looking for a foul.
Davis on the other end. Again, we have 90 seconds remaining. Now it's 13 on the clock. Where is Danielle? He needs to pop out to receive it. Here's Palacio with 6 on the clock. Rebound kept alive by Aaron Williams. And it's Danielle Marshall. Here's Pop Stowe with a turnaround. Tell you what, if Philadelphia played this kind of defense on Danielle Marshall about 45 minutes ago, Philly would probably be in this ballgame.
Exactly. All of a sudden they recognized him with a minute to go. And I think we're going to see the last of Danielle Marshall here, Chuck.
Give him some recognition. This crowd, he's coming out. And a standing O for Danielle Marshall, and he deserves it. Tell you what, he got the towel. I'm not sure I want to cool him off, Leo. You better save some of that for Chowder in Boston on Wednesday night.
Well, you can guarantee that they're watching this game.
Yes.
And they're going to take note of the fact that there were a lot of open looks for Danielle Marshall. 38 points.
The Raptors are going for a franchise high in points scored. Here is Pop Stowe. John Summers. Now, Leo, do you go for it now or just dribble it out and go home?
I think the Raptors are going to be happy to get a win. You don't want to try to embarrass your opponent. You got to play Philadelphia.
Yes, you do.
In the near future, so you want to just make sure to let this game go.
Yep, good point. And it's very professional what the Raptors are doing. But Danielle Marshall, that guy stepped up big time. Boy. Tell you what, where's Bill Murray when you need him? Groundhog Day all over again and again and again. Danielle Marshall and the Raptors in the books with a 128-110 win over the flabbergasted Philadelphia 76ers.
A great performance. Raptors sharing the ball. Everybody getting their touches. 32 assists. And Danielle Marshall, the hero of the day.
Yep. Let's go to Norma.
Well, Danielle, as they say to the kids at school, stop, drop, and roll because you're on fire.
Well, my teammates did a good job of just getting me the ball at the right spot. And I know at halftime, they told me to just keep on shooting. So I kept shooting. Even my last two, as I'm running down the court, they're telling me to shoot it. I mean, they weren't good shots, but my teammates are telling me to shoot it. So I give all the credit to them.
You know, you did tie, or you set an individual career high, tied an NBA record. When's the last time do you remember being in that kind of zone?
Back in college. You know, I'm not a player that gets paid and run for him in the NBA. I just go out there and I'm open and I shoot the shot or I go get offensive rebounds. And, you know, I didn't really get plays run for me until I got to Connecticut. And, I mean, that's probably the last time. But it felt good to finally, especially coming against Philadelphia when I know my family's watching.
Everybody wondered how you guys would bounce back after your loss to Atlanta, but I don't think anyone anticipated this.
Well, you always have a couple games a year that you lose that you probably shouldn't have lost, and that was one of them. You know, we lost to the Bobcats as well, so, you know, it's how you bounce back from it. We're still in this race, and we just got to keep playing hard.
How much of a confidence builder was the win today?
It's big. We go on the road and play two tough teams, and we got to go in their place, and we got to play hard. We got to play like we did tonight and play smart.
Enjoy your win and your career high.
Thank you.
Danielle Marshall with 38 points, 12 of 19 from in the arc. Sets a season high for individuals in the NBA for three-pointers and ties
I will return in just a moment right here on TSN.